Let's proceed now to our next segment, and that is headlines across Africa. Let's find out what's happening in these three countries: Gabon, Malawi, and Togo.
Headlines across Africa.
Headlines across Africa.
Headlines across Africa.
Headlines across Africa.
All right.
Well, yeah, so we're starting with Togo, where we're reading from the Togo Actual Line newspaper, and the headline's not really interesting, but it says corruption in Togo. A new twist in the Bolor affair.
Okay. Corruption n'est pas bon. Okay.
Well, the National Financial Prosecutor's Office, PNF, has decided to refer the case of Vincent Bolor and two officials to an investigating judge after their guilty plea was not probate at the end of February for corruption in Togo. Following an investigation entrusted in 2013 to investigating judges and 2 months of negotiations with the PNF, Vincent Bolor, Gilles Alex, Managing Director of the Bolor Group, and Jean-Philippe Dorent, International Director of the communication agency Havas, which is a subsidiary of Bolor, had agreed to an appearance on prior recognition of guilt, a sort of guilty plea in the French way. But at the hearing on 28 February, Magistrate Isabelle Prévost-Depreve refused to approve the CRPC, which is the appearance on prior recognition of guilt, which provided for the payment of a fine of 375,000 euros for each of the three defendants, believing that the serious facts should be tried by the correctional court. Now, the order to remove the three men through the CRPC was rendered null and forth as a result of the non-approval of the proceedings, the PNF said. This aspect of the case therefore rests with the investigating judge, as the PNF has decided not to refer the three defendants to the criminal court on its merit. Now, at the same hearing, however, the magistrate approved the Judicial Convention of Public Interest, pleading guilty for companies against the Bolor Group, which is being prosecuted for the same fact. The agreement was executed by the payment of the fine of 12 million euros on 8th March to the public treasury. The PNF said the group will also have to set up a compliance program for 4 million euros by the French anti-corruption agency AFA. Nevertheless, the PNF filed an appeal on Friday for excess of power before the Criminal Chamber of Court of Cassation because of several mentions in the order of validation of the CJIP of the three CRPC, which were ultimately not approved.
Okay.
So I think this is not the first time we're seeing corruption in different countries, but this one has been going on for a little bit while. Now, one thing is, like, every time there's another story coming on, I think this is a common phenomenon where you have big corporations out there actually engaged in illegal stuff. Sometimes not illegal, legally, but then there's money laundering beneath the surface.
Something is happening.
I mean, there's always another way to be making money.
Yeah, in as much as you're operating legally, something illegal is going underground.
So but I'm happy when these things are brought to light, and then, I mean, justice is being put. I'm happy that, I mean, the judge did not allow for them to do the guilty plea for the corporate this thing, and so that they will not just pay fine. I hope they follow it. These people have to serve term.
You know, in as much as it's an unacceptable act in our society, sometimes I just feel pity for them. Unfortunately, you got caught. And there are a number of them out there still practicing such an act. Yeah. But let's try and make it a better place for everyone. Okay.
We're moving on to Malawi, where we're reading from the Nyasa Times newspaper, and the headline says, Malawi government probes foreign entrepreneurs over fraudulent business permits. Illegal traders to be flushed out.
Okay. You're in the land and you need to abide by the rules. Anything outside that, you definitely face the law. Okay.
Well, government says it is investigating some foreign enterprises for obtaining business resident permits without following proper procedures. Now, this follows revelations that most of the foreign entrepreneurs ply their trade in locations reserved for locals, hence exerting unfair competition. The Minister of Trade, Sosten Gwenge, said that an investigation has been instituted to flash out illegal traders. Now, Chitipa South legislator Welani Chilenga told Parliament on Monday that some Malawians are failing to prosper in their businesses due to an influx of foreign nationals conducting small-scale businesses in the country.
Right.
Well, he told the government to address the issue quickly, and Labour Minister Ken Kandodo pledges that his ministry will discuss the matter with the Trade Ministry for possible solutions. Meanwhile, Kandodo has cited COVID-19 as among factors that have frustrated implementation of the 1 million jobs creation campaign promise. He told Parliament on Monday the government was working on the strategic plan to still fulfill the promise within a short period of time. Kandodo said the ministry has identified a number of sectors that can help in the creation of jobs, including the mining sector. He explained that if companies could explore the availability of mineral deposits, it would eventually create jobs. Kandodo has also agreed with one of the members of parliament that cultivation of medicinal hemp, which is legal, is another economic activity that can create employment through growing and processing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm smelling Indian hemp.
But Indian hemp in some jurisdictions is legal.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's legal in Malawi. And I think if they actually, because it has medicinal properties,
Absolutely.
if they use it, the process that they cultivate and process the right way. Look, the young men out there who would not mind how much you pay them. The mere fact that they're cultivating hemp and it's legal is just good enough for them. So, I mean...
Like, good to go.
That is it. I believe if it's processed right and it gives them job, which is important. One thing I wouldn't want to... I just have this tingling that this minister is not necessarily going to hang down on these foreigners who are operating in the same space as the local traders.
I mean, operating in a space as, you know, the locals or the citizens is a different case altogether. And then you go as far as not even having the legal permits. That's another... You know, that's like making the situation worse.
You see, sometimes it's like they use the illegal means, like the shortcut, because they know if they go through the right one and they have every detail of theirs, the kind of taxes they have to pay, and sometimes.
One would say, let's still count on the AFCF thing.
I feel like if we don't flash out some of these things, it would, because especially even here in Ghana, we have companies, especially in those suicide, a lot of Lebanese-owned companies that are using local names, Ghanaian names, and putting people, Ghanaians, in charge of it. Okay. But they are the main owners. Yes, they're the owners, and everything comes back to them. And when they realize you're after one company, they create a sister company, different names selling the same product, but then you don't know all the money from A or B comes back into their coffers.
Well, I believe authorities are still looking into this and try and get them, because I mean, don't forget, even the Ghanaians, the citizens, are supposed to, you know, start paying some new taxes and what have you. So
that's just when
the hunting will continue.
Okay. Well, finally, we're reading from the L'Union newspaper in Gabon, and the headline says, "Consumerism, Sano withdrawn from the market."
Okay, explain further.
Well, according to the DGCC and Agasa, this mark from Cameroon would be unfit for consumption due to non-compliance with the operating and packaging standards of bottles and water canisters for public consumption.
Okay.
So, on instructions from the government through the Minister of Trade, Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises and Industry, Hugues Mbandiga Madia, the Provincial Directorate of Trade, the Professional Service of the Directorate General of Competition and Consumer Affairs. That is a long title.
Yeah.
And the Gabonese Food Security Agency. It's too long. And the Gabonese Food Security Agency, Agasa, of Wolu Ntem, have recently carried out a large operation to remove commercial spaces from Oye Sano mineral water, which is imported from Cameroon. Now, about a ton of bottles of this water has been removed from the shops of the department of Wolu Oyem and Ntem Bitam. According to the Septintron's Provisional Director of Trade, Florentine Mondunguidi, this withdrawal of Sano's products from the local market comes after the minister in charge of Cameroon's trade correspondence with his Gabonese counterpart questioning the quality of the Sano water, and its bottling at the production company level in Douala no longer meets the required standards. At the root of the suspension, the activities of Sano SA, the non-compliance with the standards of operation and packaging of bottles and water canisters intended for public consumption. This reads the letter from Cameroon's Minister of Commerce, which was dated 5th March 2021. It is therefore for the protection and preservation of the health of consumers that the Gabonese government has ordered the removal of this water from the places of sale.
Okay.
That's all we have. I mean, it's a good thing.
It
If
is,
things in
it
the market
is.
are not right, take them out.